tell me about yourself. Who are you, and what do you do in Mu Epsilon Kappa?
Mu Epsilon Kappa?
Yes.
I'm Bill. I'm a junior. I'm a chemistry major. In Mu Epsilon Kappa, I am two things. I am the VP historian, which means I'm in charge of keeping sort of the information about the organization and its roots together, as well as all of the stuff that we have, books and movies and video games and stuff that are for the organization. I have to keep there. Additionally, I am the specialist in charge of books, which currently, because there's no other separate groups, is anything with pages. So, comic books, manga, novels, your Kindle, any of that. If it's pictures, no pictures, words, no words, as long as, book is a very broad term in this sense.
Cool. So I could bring my physics book.
Yes, Eric, you could bring your physics book.
DC comic or Marvel?
DC. There's some really cool Marvel comics, and I like Spider-Man, and X-Men are cool sometimes and stuff like that. But DC is my absolute favorite because I love Batman a lot, and Batman is DC. I like Green Lantern and some other DC superheroes, but my love for comic books is mainly due to my love for Batman and the way that Batman is and his villains and all that stuff. And Batman is DC, so there's that.
Are you ever not talking about this? I feel like every
He's interviewing me again.
This comes up.
He's interviewing me again, so I have
Ridiculous.
to. Batman's the best. He's the coolest superhero
I'll
in the
give you
world.
that. Okay.
The coolest. He could kill any other superhero if he had 15 minutes of prep time, and he has no superpowers.
15 minutes of prep time. So
Yeah.
what? Like, if he's gonna face off with the Hulk, he's supposed to be like, all right. I'll give you 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, he runs really, really fast and gets into his car and drives away, and he's like, now I got to get my Hulk repellent spray. And then he goes back and gets the spray, and then he's now defeated the Hulk. So.
Not the hero we need.
Wow. Oh, yeah. I was gonna ask Batman versus Superman. I mean,
it's been done. Batman had killed Superman every time. He killed him in Dark Knight Returns, or he almost killed him in Dark Knight Returns because Batman got this exoskeleton suit thing, and he had teamed up with Green Arrow, who had kryptonite arrows, and they shot Superman. Superman's like, I'm melting, and Batman's like, Caw! And then he did that.
But isn't that but then it's not all Batman. Because he had help.
Superman has help. Superman's got Superboy and Krypto the Superdog and Supergirl and Steel and a couple other people.
Okay.
Batman just has Alfred. He doesn't even have Robin. Well, I guess he does have Robin at this point, whatever her name is. Carrie, I think her name is in this. Anyways. Yeah. Again, if Batman has time to prep, Batman can kill any of the superheroes. He actually has a suit to kill each member of the Justice League just in case. So
That all that money is.
It's spent well. If Martian Manhunter goes crazy, you're gonna need a Batman flamethrower suit. If Green Lantern goes crazy, you're gonna need a yellow bat suit. I mean, it's just has to happen. Superman goes crazy, kryptonite suit.
Oh,
you gotta prepare for these things.
Kind of like those huge things on the belt, like in the '60s show.
Yep. The '60s show was awesome. I love that show.
Pow.
It was great. There's different facets of the Batman character in the '40s, from when it started up until the late '50s. It was very dark, very noir, very kill you, except for I can't kill because I've got a code against killing kind of thing. And then Adam West did his show, and it was very, very humorous, very sort of campy, hero kind of thing. It was very funny. And then just with Frank Miller's Batman in the '80s, it got darker again. And so they've had that, and it flip flops back and forth sometimes. But they're two different, very important facets of Batman.
Oh.
Dark versus comedic Batman.
So Batman Begins, kind of going back to the dark side, sort of.
Well, they had already done that with the Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson Batman movies of the late '80s, early '90s. The first one was then. So it was Tim Burton directed it. Michael Keaton was in it, and that was very dark. the next one, Batman Returns, with Michael Keaton as Batman and Danny DeVito as the Penguin, was even darker. And then after that, Batman Forever was a little bit lighter, a little bit more comedic, but still in that sort of dark vein. And then Batman and Robin was terrible. It was so bad. I as a huge fan of Batman, even I have to admit that it was just horrible, because they tried to do comedic and serious Batman at the same time, and it didn't work. It doesn't work. You can't do that. But it was bad. But then, yeah, I mean, Batman Begins and The Dark Knight are very dark and serious Batman. Batman Begins is actually almost 100% influenced by Frank Miller's Year One, which is his sort of origin story of Batman graphic novel, it's also very dark. Frank Miller writes a dark comic. He's not I mean, Sin City is not something you're going to be showing your little kid, so.
DC put out a newer drawing of Batman.
Maybe?
I think it was around September 2011.
Oh, they rebooted the franchise. That they started back over with one. That could be it. That could be what you're talking about. And yeah, I have them. There's 6 of them now. The 7th one comes out tomorrow. I'll be getting that. Oh, I know, it came out today. Today's comic book day. Today's Wednesday. It came today, so I gotta go to the comic book store and pick that up.
Awesomeness. Let's see here. So, top 3 books.
Currently, my top 3 books are Hopscotch by Kevin J. Anderson, a science fiction book about people that can switch consciousnesses. So, like you and I could, if we agreed on it, I could now be in your body and you would be in my body. Amongst other things, this eliminates people attracted to other people based on gender, or at least physical appearance of gender, that really you fall in love with somebody's consciousness, and then if you guys want to have a physical relationship but you're so grotesque, you so much detest the other person's physical appearance, you can pay a certain amount of money and find somebody that's willing to sell their body for, whatever, and now you don't have to worry about that anymore. I also like this book called Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. It came out recently, within the last year, and it's about this slightly in the future reality, could be possible in the next 20 years kind of thing. And this guy who develops video games ended up creating the world's greatest MMO. It's got a sort of a virtual reality type thing that you've got these goggles that you view it through goggles, and you have gloves, so it's nothing really intense I'm on a holodeck kind of thing. It's just you've got these gloves and you've got the goggles. But because of how awesome the mechanics and gameplay have been, he's been absorbing other MMOs. So you've now got WoW is a part of this, NeverQuest is a part of this, Eve is a part of this. Everything that is an MMO is now part of this giant MMO world. The main character, though, is relatively poor. He got a grant from the government because they realized that it costs money to take students and have them go to a real school, and so they can go to virtual schools, and he was able to get the rig from that, and so he plays the MMO. There's a lot of really cool stuff. I don't know what my third favorite book would be. I'm currently reading a book called Traveling Music by Neil Peart, and I guess that would be my third favorite right now. So I'm currently reading it. Neil Peart's the drummer for Rush, and it's him talking about his life, as sort of an autobiographical thing, as well as music that he is interested in and has influenced him in his lyric writing as well as his music writing. So,
what is your favorite book that turned into a movie?
I don't know. I think my favorite book that turned into a movie is probably Lord of the Rings. Mostly because I absolutely loved the book, and I absolutely loved the movie. It was a very good adaptation. Peter Jackson's one was. Although the animated one from the 80s, maybe, was also very good. Maybe it was the 60s. It was also good. But I think that's the deal. I have other books that I enjoy that I really liked, and they got turned into movies, and they were terrible. Aragon comes to mind. Harry Potter 4 through 6. Those were bad. Animorphs didn't get turned into a movie. We got it turned into a pretty bad TV show, and that's a wound that doesn't heal. That's a pretty deep cut. So it can go either way. It can be really good or it can be really bad. Another good one, The Watchmen. Watchmen was a really fairly thorough adaptation of the comic book, and it was very true to the book, and I thought it was really good. but League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, not a great adaptation. So, anything my favorite though would be Lord of the Rings, both a great book and a great adaptation.
Yeah, thanks for letting me interview you.
No problem, dude.